Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I have a car that I'm particularly excited about showing you today. So come on over and take a look at it. I have to predicate it by saying I am very biased towards these cars. I have a 140 drop head, which is in the back of the showroom myself. I have worked on a lot of these cars. I've crewed them on the Mille Miglia in Italy, so I know them quite well, and I just love these cars. So when an opportunity comes along for us to pick a really nice one up, I personally get really excited. So this car is gorgeous, and let me just talk about the history of the car a little bit. So it's really fun. We were able to go back in time and learn about the previous owners. We're going back to the early 90s. The car was purchased at Manhattan Imported Cars of Fairfax, Virginia, July of '91. The car was driven, it was maroon at that point, but it was a kind of a lousy maroon paint job. The car originally, we believe, was gold. So originally from the factory, we believe it was gold, was maroon, and it was kind of an old tired Jaguar in '91. It was driven through the 90s up in Vermont, and then the owner of the car decided to really go full bore and shipped it out to California, where at that point it would have gone to XKS Unlimited. They're the people that then merged with Moss Motors later, although the shop restored the car, starting a full restoration on the car in the late 90s, which was completed in the early 2000s, the 2002 to be exact, and I'll discuss what was done to the car. Then the car went to Hawaii and was in Hawaii for a while, being driven sparingly, and then after the Hawaii stint, it went back out to California, where it was refreshed again and worked again on XK's Motorsports, which was what came out of XK's Unlimited. So the same shop has worked on this car for many, many years. It's a well-known car, well documented. It is a numbers matching car. So if we come over here for a moment, of course, I believe the Jaguar Straight Six is just a work of art. They are just absolutely gorgeous. This engine, when this car was restored in California, it was done at the same time Jay Leno was doing one of his Jaguars, and you can go to Jay Leno's site and have him talk to you about the Jaguar motor. This is spec'd the same way as Jay's, done by the same shop. What they did to the motor, it's the original block, original head. It has been, the flywheel has been lightened, the engine was balanced. They went to 2-inch carburetors, larger carburetors. It has a mild street cam in it, cams, plural. So mild cams, has the tubular exhaust, the 3 into 2, has a sport exhaust on the car. It also was changed to a 5-speed transmission, 5-speed manual transmission. The car is phenomenal to drive. You can tell the instant you start it. It's a powerful motor. It's very responsive, very strong. And it's just a delight to drive. And with the 5-speed transmission, that totally changes the driving characteristics of the car. They also, which I happen to like this, it's done on my car also, they went to disc brakes in the front. So the stopping power of the car is much better than it was originally. So you have a car that's very drivable, very usable, much more powerful than it was originally. Still idles smoothly, all the characteristics of a Jaguar that you want. They also, of course, upgraded to an alternator, so the charging system is stronger. So all those little things combined make it just a phenomenal car, along with a complete nut and bolt frame-off restoration done in the very early 2000s. Fast forward, the car was sold about 2 years ago to a fellow in Pennsylvania, which is how we came across the car. When he got the car, it was in California, he asked them, they installed the leather hood strap, they installed the driving lights, and he really wanted to have wire wheels on the car. So of course, you cannot have wire wheels on the back when you have the spats on. There's not enough clearance. So on the rear of the car, it has the disc wheels. On the front of the car, it has new chrome wires. And that's just the look he wanted. The car handles fine, drives fine, and it has this look. That's for the future owner to determine if they want to go with wires in the back. You can do that, but of course the spats have to come off. Today, the paint is holding up extremely well. The car presents beautifully. It's an older restoration, but it's been lovingly cared for. Garage kept most of its life. Come on over here, let's take a look at some things. You can see the quality of the restoration These lines probably are much better than they ever were from the factory. The shut lines are very straight. The long sweeping fenders are gorgeous. Coming along, they're beautiful. I mean, I can talk all day about these cars. I love these cars. This sweep here, everything works on the car. The little vent windows all work. When you go to the interior of the car, and I noticed this right away in reading through the notes on the car, I'm pretty sure that this is original leather. It is older. To me, it has a wonderful patina. It's a very tobacco-rich looking. It does need to have some work done to it. There's a little bit of coming apart here at the stitching. There's a little tear over there. We're leaving it alone so the new owner can decide what to do. I really hope they continue to preserve this leather. It has been preserved and maintained and kept with the car for a very long time, but that's up to the new owner what they want to do. The wood and everything is gorgeous. That clearly was redone in the restoration and has held up beautifully. It's nicely glossed. It's not overdone. It's not underdone. Just beautiful. All the instrumentation is lovely. Steering wheel is lovely. Of course, you've got the 5-speed shifter in there. Coming here along the door cards. And I think the color combination is just outstanding on this car. The wood is very nice. All the screws are nicely done. The door handles, all the little pieces are beautifully done on this car. And it was nice being able to talk to the previous owner, going through all the history of the car from the early 90s. Also talking to Clive, who's over at XK's Motorsports now. Very helpful, very friendly. He knew the car, knew it right away. Said, yep, that's a good one. So coming to the trunk area, typical Jag trunk, nicely finished, typical British. We have the spare tire, we have the jack, we have the tools to do everything. So that all is with the car. There's a very slight crack in the paint right here, down where there's a flex point. It's hard to see, but there's a little piece there. So that's where it's not a fresh restoration, but my God, this car presents itself beautifully. Coming along this side, it's the same story. Shut lines are very nice. All the doors operate beautifully. This is a car that when you drive it, the instant you start it, it's very quick. And yet all the controls, everything works on the car with that nice kind of fluid movement, nothing stiff. So, and these cars are actually very potent cars. When they're set up properly, they're very strong. They're much faster than people expect them to be. Such a big torquey motor that makes that gorgeous Jaguar sound. Here we have the 2 stickers on the car from XK's Motorsports and also XK's Unlimited, the 2 companies that are responsible for bringing this car back to life. So if you're looking for really a gorgeous a gorgeous coupe, 120, known history, numbers matching, everything lines up on this car. All the modifications that I personally love, because I love driving my cars. Please consider this car. I think all the different people that have worked on it are happy to discuss the car. You can reference it and talk to them. Today, it presents beautifully. It drives well. And, oh, I forgot to mention, we did buy it from an estate. So sadly, the fellow in Pennsylvania that got the car only had it for a couple years, and he passed away. And we purchased the car from the estate. That's how we came to own this car. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm so excited to sell this car. These are just lovely cars. And let's see if we can find a lovely new home for it. Thanks for taking the time and looking at our car.